Y'all know what it is. We back with another episode of Culture Vultures Alive. And I'm your boy Ted Talk. And right now, we breaking down an episode of Trappers Anonymous. If none of y'all don't know, Trappers Anonymous, a platform where the hosts bring on basically anybody willing to give a testimony, basically. Anyone willing to share their story, however traumatic or triumphant. Either way, it's just basically people that's here to share testimony. And today we have a woman who talks about losing her virginity to 5 men at 13 years old and how it all came to be, the mindset, the situations, the lifestyle, etc. And without further ado, chat, let's get into this shit.
Here's a story. At 5 months old, a doctor's visit reveals you had been vaginally penetrated. By the age of 4, your mother finds her boyfriend in between your legs. And at age 5, your female cousin forces you to perform oral sex on her and urinates in your mouth. At the age of 13, you start dating a 19-year-old, but after your mother finds out, she calls the police. He breaks up with you, calls you crazy, and never talks to you again. Heartbroken, feeling like you lost the love of your life, you tell yourself you're going to go look for a boyfriend. You find a short skirt, a tight shirt, and at 13 years old, you walk outside and sleep with 7 men. And this is only the beginning of your story. Trapping Anonymous. What was going on in your mind?
The sex, I mean, it felt good.
Yeah. What's good? My name is Chris Downs. This is Trapping Anonymous. Welcome back. Shout out to everybody helping keeping the movement moving. We really do appreciate you. If you have a story, you're sitting there watching a show week after week, month after month. It's been a year, 2 years, and you're like, I want to tell my story. Please DM me at Trapping Anonymous. Send me an email, trappinganonymous@gmail.com. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok. The community is here. It's here. It's growing. It's building, and that's all thanks to you all. Getting these stories to you is my main priority, and it's been that way for a while. So let's just keep it going. Do remember the stories that you hear reflect real life. They're here to educate. They're here to inform, and hopefully keep your little homie off the streets. My name is Chris Downs. Trapping Anonymous. Whoa. Oh. Let's get it. I would like to start with your name and why your story is important.
My name is Christina Jones. And I feel like my story is important because I want others to know that they can be redeemed and recover from anything.
Okay. Walk me through the day you lost your virginity.
So, age 14, I made up in my mind that I wanted to find a boyfriend. So I was like, let me just put on something real tight, real slutty looking or whatever, and walk the streets. I snuck out. My dad, he worked at night, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And my mother, she went to bed 9 p.m. every night. So that was one of the nights that I figured out that I wanted to go out and look for a boyfriend. We lived near a park called Charles Park down in St. Petersburg, Florida. And that's where I started walking. And I heard a spitting sound. It was a guy standing at the park next to his car. He had a Cutlass Supreme. And when he asked me to come towards him, I went towards him. We just started talking. And he asked me if I was a twerker. I was like, I don't know what a twerker is. I thought a twerker was like a stripper or something like that. I'm like, no, I'm not a twerker. Then he asked me my name. He asked me my age. I told him, I said, my name is Christina. I'm 14. And he just was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not 14. I guess because I looked older. After that, he got up a little bit closer to me and he put his hands in between my legs. I was wearing a short skirt, so he was able to do that. And I let him do it, because I felt like if this is what it's going to take to get a boyfriend, I was like, okay. So he did that. Once he did that, he asked me.
And again, I feel like a lot of the path she walked down to wasn't her fault, but how you handle her after the shit she been through is very crucial as a parent. And I feel like one mistake most parents make when they dealing with females, and not even females, just with it could be any child, male, female. But the thing is, you shouldn't shield or hide the real realities of the world from your children as they grow up. I feel like she had a loving, caring mother, but I feel like her mother, instead of teaching her in the moments where she's supposed to be taught the reality of life, she shielded her from them. And when you shield children instead of teaching them, it kind of builds up a naiveness in them. Like I said, I feel like the situation that she was in just was simply because she was just young and they understand life, and she didn't have the proper teacher. You feel me? Like as a mother, her mother tried the best she could do to protect her, but as a parent, sometimes you have to give your children the tools to navigate reality by actually uncovering it and exposing them to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta expose them to real life scenarios, real life situations, and these moments. Like, I feel like a lot of female in those moments, as a female mother, a lot of mothers would get embarrassed in that moment. And instead of teaching that motherfucker, you so embarrassed that you just try to shield it from everything, protect it. You know what I mean? But it was what you ain't give her, you feel me, that kind of ended up hurting you in the end. Because at all she been through, she still ain't know how to navigate men and navigate the world around her, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like she just made a mistake, you know what I'm saying? Being young and naive, that's just how she went about finding her boyfriend at an early age. And you know what I'm saying? She just was in over her head. But parents, teach your kids. That's how you create bonding moments. You teach them. They gonna have a better chance at life when they understand what's in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of stumbling through shit as it hit them, you know what I mean? They would be more prepared for those obstacles.
In the car and holler at his homeboy. His guy friend was already sitting in his car, but he was sitting in the driver's seat. So I got in the car, and immediately I ended up taking my underwear off and I put them underneath the seat, because I knew in my mind that we were probably going to have sex. And I thought that's what, I needed to do to get ready. I get into the car. It's a guy sitting in the front seat, big guy, big black guy. And he asked me the same thing. He was like, "What's your name? Where are you from? How old are you?" I said, "My name is Christina and I'm 14. So then that's when he was like, "Okay, lean back." So I leaned back against the door. He asked me to put one leg behind the steering wheel and my other leg behind the driver's seat. And then that's how we had sex. Once I had sex with him, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, this is cool, Once I had sex with him, then that's when the first guy who I talked to, who was standing by the car, that's when he got into the car, and then he was like, "Get in the back seat." He got in the back seat, he stripped butt naked, like took all his clothes off. I got in the back seat with him, I had sex with him. So I was thinking, okay, well, this must be the last guy. So as I'm getting ready to get out of the car, it's a two-door car. So I'm pushing the seat in front of me to like get out. All of a sudden, the guy, tall, slim, black guy, he come walking up, and he began to push me back into the car. He was like, "It's my turn." So I was like, okay. So I ended up getting back in the back seat, had sex with him. Then I thought, well, okay, that's number 3.
I ain't gonna lie, chat, yo. I remember when I was fucking young and shit. I was like 14 and I was liking this girl bad as shit. I was doing whatever I wanted to and shit. And she was letting niggas run trains on her and shit, nigga. Niggas was getting back to me like, damn, niggas ran a train on shorty. But a lot of females, like, they don't understand, you know what I'm saying? They that's how they gonna attract a man when they're younger, or that's how they gonna attract love, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that they had that mindset, like, as a woman, like, not knowing what they actually doing and shit. I feel like when they like I said, she wanted a boyfriend bad, and then I feel like the girl I was talking to was crazy. She used to like this one nigga, yo, should just have her getting trained up. But that's just another side quest. But yeah, that shit crazy. I feel like a lot of this shit A lot of females go through this shit. That's why a lot of females will go through some shit and then later on they make it seem like a motherfucker raped them. No, you just made some bad decisions that you couldn't live with. You feel me? After the fact, after you finally learned some things and came to your senses and understood what you did was fucking wrong, and you feel bad. But you can't blame yourself for not knowing something shit when you made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? That's part of growing and shit. That's part of the process. But let's continue, chat.
So I'm done. So then once he was done, he got out the car and another guy got in. Tall, dark skinned, he had long locks. Had sex with him, and then after I had sex with him, he was like, can we do this again, like, once you're done? And I was like, do what again? He was talking about have sex again. So I told him, yeah. And then after that, I ended up getting out the car, and I ended up walking away with both of the two last guys that I had sex with. So then, once I...
Niggas stay taking the young dummies back in the day. Like, back in the day, I remember the dummies that was our age, the older niggas used to be fucking them, getting that dick sucked. We used to have to be outside mad and shit. Like, man, you ain't sucking my dick. Oh, like, that shit be crazy, but niggas really be out here preying on the young ones, yo. Especially back in the day when we came up. Cause that's what I was saying. You gonna put some tight shit on. You gonna go outside. You ain't gonna post that shit on Instagram. You feel me? Shit gonna come at you. You feel me? In HD. But that shit was crazy. But yeah, when I come to think about it, I just remember all the niggas getting their dick sucked by all the older niggas getting their dick sucked by all the bitches that was my age. I got my dick sucked too, but they was getting their dick sucked first by them bitches. That's how I knew they was going.
We ended up walking back towards where one of the guys lived, but we ended up stopping at a house that was next door to his. And then we had sex on the side of the house with those two guys. I had sex with those two guys. One of the guys.
Look at that shit. I hope that ain't her when she 14. That shit crazy. She ain't hitting on nothing. Niggas just taking easy kills at this motherfucking time. Like, that ain't nothing to fucking get turned up over. That shit crazy. They was beating the bark off of, like. You already know when a nigga smell a motherfucking smell blood in that water. You feel me? You know them shots coming, boy. I got me a little dummy, boy. She letting everybody fuck. Word around town. I forgot. It was this girl in elementary school. They got in trouble for sucking dick and shit. I forgot her name. What was that bitch name, yo? God, I forgot that bitch name. But she was sucking the shit out of everybody's dick. She got in trouble for that shit, like. It be little girls, but they just don't know no better. They naive. It's just how they perceive the world. They don't understand it yet. But that shit crazy. She was going hard. But that ain't nothing to fucking, you feel me? Ain't got nothing on it. Like, ain't looking like nothing. Them niggas who hit her, nasty as shit. That's fucking despicable.
The one that was pushing me back into the car to say, hey, wait, it's my turn. He tried to have like anal sex with me, but it's just too painful. After I finished with them, I was like, you know what, I think it's time for me to go home. So I began to walk home, and then on my way walking home, another man had stopped me. So this was guy number 5. This guy, he stopped me. He was on a bicycle. He asked me the same thing. What's your name? How old are you? I was like, my name is Christina. I'm 14. All of them were pretty much saying the same thing. They couldn't believe that I was 14, but you know, it is what it is. So as we're walking to my house, because at this point, I'm about maybe 5 blocks over from where I live. So we're walking down the street. He's on his bicycle going really, really slow. He was telling me that I shouldn't be out that late, you know, so that's why he wanted to walk me home. So as we're walking home, I thought in my mind, well, let me cut through an alley so he wouldn't really figure out where I live or whatever. But in doing that, that gave him an opportunity to have sex with me too. So after the 5th guy, I ended up going home, got in the shower. I was getting ready for school. I didn't sleep that night, and neither did I sleep the other nights following. So.
Wow. And this is what you thought.
And that's the crazy shit, because imagine, this why we be trying to tell women, I don't give a fuck how much pussy y'all think a nigga can get. She 14 years old, knocking down 5 doors before she even woke up in the morning. Like, this is crazy shit. She doing this shit by mistake. Like, fuck 5 niggas by mistake. And y'all bitches swear y'all body count low, boy. That's what I'm trying to tell you, y'all. Like, she fucked 5. Like, that shit crazy. She fucked 5 niggas by mistake, chat. That shit sad as shit. And then she was nothing. Like, like I wouldn't even, like it's a young nigga, I swear I wouldn't have looked her way, bro. It wasn't nothing. No ass, titties, nothing, man. That's disgusting. Niggas
your
is
introduction,
trifling.
not only to sex, but to finding a boyfriend. 14 years old.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's just grown men.
Grown men, yeah.
Inside of a child. Is it painful? Is it... What's going through your mind?
Yo.
I don't remember it being painful, but I do remember getting home, getting in the shower, and me washing up and there being blood on my washcloth. But I was like, you know, if that's what it takes to get a boyfriend, like I was cool with it. But I don't remember being in pain. Maybe just because of the friction or penetration, I don't know.
As it was going on,
baby.
what
like,
was going on in your mind?
The bleeding or the sex?
The sex.
The sex? I mean, it felt good.
Yeah.
The tension felt good, you know. There are things that happened before that made me go out there.
I think that's so interesting to point out, right? Because it has such a bad...
Because that shit sad, because most young women that do get molested end up being a little bit more on the promiscuous side, I'm saying. That shit kind of sad and shit, like, they kind of distort their perception of men and reality. That's why I say as parents, it's important not to shield your kids, but teach them, like, because there's obstacles and there's things that you just can't avoid in life. It's situations that's unavoidable, and it's best they just be equipped to handle those situations and navigate them than make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, you know? And that way, teaching them is a form of protection, because you know you can instill your values and your morals and your compass within them. And you can also hold them accountable.
Stigma attached to it when it comes to sleeping with multiple people, or just even just being young, being a child, being a baby, and getting raped, right? Statutory rape.
Yeah.
By these grown men, and you not being able to consent, right, as a child. Like when you think about not being able to consent as a child, because you don't really know any better. What do you think about that? Are you able to consent as a child?
That's tough. According to the law, no. But I say in like one of my pieces, because you know I do spoken word and poetry, I say that I was consensually gang raped beginning at the age of 14. And then shortly after that I became a sex fiend. So I can't, again.
I was about to say that, Chet, like, and a lot of times, like I say, the only thing from what I'm getting, the only thing she remembered as a child is that it felt good, you know what I mean? And sex feels good for everybody, so I can imagine what that would do for a child, you know what I mean? Like, these different years, you feel me? So that's like a dopamine hit to her, you feel me? That sensation, that adrenaline she got, you feel me? That attention, you feel me? That's what she was talking about. So I feel like it was more of those things become more of a rush to them, you know what I mean? And it's sad.
I don't think that it was appropriate. Of course, being an adult and seeing the things that I did and with the men that I did it with, that's completely inappropriate. So the age of consent is like, I can't really answer that. It's still inappropriate. And I don't want to make light of this issue, because there's some people that have really been through some tragic things.
Were you drunk? Were you high? Were you on drugs? Like, what, or was
No, not this particular night.
Right.
No.
Did you grow up insecure?
I'm not really sure if insecurity had a big part in it, because it was like I was always introduced to sex. It just seemed like I attracted sex or sexual advances and things like that.
You told me that, because I asked, were you inviting to these guys?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Most of them, yeah. Can you describe to me what that sounds like, feels like, looks like?
See again, this, I know why he asking her these questions, but a lot of times when she presenting, the man could sense that like she don't really have to be inviting. Like she made her intentions clear when she left out the house. It was to find a boyfriend, so she dressed a little promiscuous, tight skirt, fitting jeans, etc. You feel me? So again, a lot of times men, we can see like we can tell when the woman is being slutty. Like it's like, so I don't feel like she was inviting them personally, but the way she dressed was inviting. And this is why again a lot of men don't like when their women dress promiscuous, because we know what it means. You're marketing yourself. You feel, we know what type of energy it's gonna bring, and when we not there, it's best for you to dress modest, because we not gonna be there to protect you from the men that will approach you. I feel like it was more the men seeing how she was dressed and inviting, and seeing that she was inviting or showing herself off in that manner, than her just, you feel me, walking around like acting like she was like trying to fuck. Like, no, she just wore promiscuous things, and the man can tell. We can tell. Like, we just know that's exactly she was fucking promoting herself. Like like it is what it is. I don't feel like she just too naive at this point to actually know what she's doing. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like she was inviting. It just was like I said, men got a sixth sense for this shit. We could tell when a woman is a little freaky and shit like that. When a woman harder to get, like we can see that things like it's the way you walk, talk, the way you dress. There's a lot of indicators, but I feel like she gave off the indicators that she was hot and ready.
At age 14?
Yeah.
Okay. So the night that I decided to sneak out, I made sure that I put on something that was extremely seductive, you know, something that because my mama would be like, that's too tight on your behind, you know, either you put something on long over it, or you need to change your outfit. So I made sure that I found the most tightest outfit that I could find, tight on my breast, tight on my bottom, you know, because I know that's what usually would attract guys to me. So that's what I did, you know, and every night that I would go.
And ladies, this another reason why men like when you with them, they want you dressed a certain type of way. Like for instance, like I say, if not when you with them, like, but when you in a relationship with them, for instance, if you go out and they not with you, they want you dress a certain type of way. One, because if you dress provocative, they know that a lot of men gonna be attracted to that and be tempted. Two, you a reflection of them. So if any acquaintances or any of their friends see you out in public dressed like a motherfucking slut, that will be a stain on their character. So it's a lot of different reasons why men tell you to dress modestly, but it a lot of times it ain't to control you. I'm pretty sure some men do it just because they got narcissistic reasons or just control freaks, but most men do it from a point of protection and shit. But again, like I said, she knew what she was doing. She put on provocative clothes to attract that certain type of man that she wanted, and that's what happened. And a lot of times, that's exactly what y'all women, y'all know what y'all doing. Like,
I would make sure I find like the sluttiest outfit that I could possibly find, just so I could have sex.
And when it came to actual verbal interaction, were you telling them, "Hey, this is what I want to do," or were you just sort of like just inviting? I guess I don't know how to say it.
I mean, I just went with the flow. I wasn't going up to guys saying, "Hey, let's have sex." You know, I wasn't doing that. It was just, I already knew what time it was, you know, whether they picked me up or whatever.
I guess it doesn't take much to have sex with a guy.
No, it no.
You know, trying to make light of the situation. I mean, but it's tragic.
Yeah,
it's tragic.
It is.
So when you get home, is this like bloodthirst to do it again, or were you like just completely turned off by it?
From the context that
what was going on in the
No. Just like I said in the piece, I became a sex fiend. So it was like, kind of like ditch the whole boyfriend thing, and I could just have sex with whoever I want to have sex with. It was fun. It was like, it was an adrenaline rush. And because I know we'll probably discuss this later on about me getting high before, between age 5.
Cause I can understand her. Cause a lot of men, we go through this same phase in our life, and a lot of men never outgrow this phase. Like taking down another a new kill. You feel me? It's a rush. It's adrenaline. It's dopamine. You know what I mean? Like the only thing better than pussy is new pussy and money. You feel me? So I feel like a lot of men get into that same position, and that's why I could kind of identify with her on that. You know what I'm saying? And some women take the same path. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting a rush from having sex with somebody you're attracted to. You feel me? Like it is what it is. But I feel like most men, we go through that journey, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of men like don't break out of that, or don't or build up a control for that reason when we randy and shit, because we always biologically producing sperm. So at a certain point, it's going to come down to the discipline the man build up. You know what I'm saying? Because biologically, we always horny for real. So some men just let that demon just drive their whole personality and moral compass when it comes to women, and other men got the discipline to control that shit and use it when they supposed to. But I've been there, so I can understand her. You know what I'm saying? The thrill and the rush of having sex with somebody that you find attractive, somebody new. You know what I'm saying? It could be like that.
11, but this was like a different type of high, and I loved it.
Yeah. What do you think about the way women dress, and that type of attention? Because sort of is like, well, women should be able to wear whatever they want to wear, right? And guys need to stop being pigs, right? So what do you sort of say to that? Do you feel like women should be able to wear whatever they want to wear and feel safe and be comfortable? Or do you feel like some of those clothes, you were looking for trouble, and certain clothes carry a certain weight to it?
Yeah, I think what I've talked to you before about was the spirit behind it. What's the motive? What's your motive? And that was my motive. My motive was to have sex. And if you dress in a way that's objectify, like in an objective way, you're going to have people who are going to objectify your body. So now, like, I dress differently today, but I feel like a man is
again, I want to get some games to the women, and I tell you this all the time. Just like it's goofy for a motherfucking man to leave with money, when all y'all motherfucking do is come with taking of the money. Like, a man going to instantly objectify you. At that point, if you looking for resources, the only thing you going to really become to him is an object you could buy. So a lot of women don't understand the ideology in that, because they think because they beautiful, or they think because they look good, that they the catch. And they don't understand, when you coming to a motherfucker like that, and you making it be known that you can be bought, that's all you really going to become to. Anybody that you kick that shit to is an object, something that can be bought. It's transactional. Nobody gonna feel bad for you, sorry for you. Nobody even gonna look at you like a human being. They just gonna look at you like a pussy hole, and you can be bought. And that's the dangerous line that a lot of women don't understand, that they walking when you deal with rich, successful men, and when you want to objectify yourself in that way through your beauty. Because that's all you really offering them, is your beauty and your body. And then and then a man with many choices it's always going to be, when you dealing with those type of situations, always going to be a newer, younger, fresher, hotter female that they could buy. You know what I mean? So that's the difference when y'all come and y'all say y'all want these 6-figure niggas, this, that. Those men have a lot of options, and you can become obsolete very fast if you get lazy. And then at the end of the day, he might just use you until you used up, and then he'll just swap you out like Leonardo DiCaprio. He swapping motherfuckers out every couple of years for a new young one, and that's just his preference, and you can't get mad at him. But that just goes to show you, like, there's no value in beauty. There's really no value. You know what I'm saying? The value is in the substance. The value is in the things that you actually can bring to the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Being useful. When you got a whole lot of competition, man, it's hard to keep up. And a lot of women, that's why it's hard dealing with a motherfucking wealthy man. That 10% y'all want.
Man, You know, God created y'all with full of sperm for a reason, full of seed to put that out, you know, and I think that is just, as a woman, you know, and it's not even about being a Christian or not. It's just how we should, you know, how I feel like we should present ourselves. Like if I'm not coming here for sex or whatever, then I need to make sure I cover myself up.
When do you go back outside?
When do I go back outside?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I was 14?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a couple of days after that. My dad, with him working 12-hour shifts overnight, that meant I couldn't go out every single night. It'd be like maybe like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, Monday. It's just it varied. The days, the nights varied because of his work schedule.
I used to wait
What
for
was that second time out?
like,
was it? Did you run into like the same guys? Was it new guys? What was going on?
I went back to see the same guys because that was what they told me that first night. It was like, you know, make sure you come back. I'm like, okay. So end up going back to that same area, and then I noticed like each night that I would go back, the crowd would grow larger. So here it is. I'm, you know, taking down, but having sex with guys in this back seat of this Coven Supreme. And then other guys would stand around the car just waiting their turn. They would be like banging on the window and saying, hey, hey, it's my turn. You know, so, but I was having fun.
Shit sad, yeah.
Are they using condoms?
Somewhere. And very gross. And I laugh because, I mean, it's not funny, but it's silly. But one particular night, these two guys, one of them didn't have a condom, so he shared his with the other guy, which is gross. Like he poured his sperm out, flipped it over, and the other guy used it. So I'm like, it really. He just really wanted to wear a condom that night.
Yeah, because whatever he was avoiding,
fucking 30 niggas.
Yeah.
Fucking like 30 niggas.
Right.
Wow. You told me that some nights guys use plastic bags.
Yeah, one particular night. Now, this wasn't part of the original guys, because like when I would go out and if I didn't see the original guys, I'll just keep walking until I got picked up. So end up getting with these guys. They were driving. They had a Jeep. There were about 3 men in this car. They picked me up and we went to this abandoned house. I remember going into the abandoned house. It didn't even have like the door. Like you can't just open the door like that. Just the door just, you know, they just move it out the way and put it up. And I ended up going into this abandoned house. They had a mattress in there that was just on the floor. There wasn't no running water. There were no lights or anything like that. And
this shit crazy.
Had sex with the two guys. They had condoms. And then I was left with the last guy. The last guy didn't have a condom. So he was like, he seen a plastic bag on the floor and was like, maybe I could use this. So he did start out that way, but then he asked me, he was like, do you have anything or whatever? Like he was asking me like if I had AIDS or something like that. And I said, no. So then he took the bag off. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
At any point, are you thinking, yo, this is nuts?
It's real.
At that time, no. That's why that's where the again, I'm not trying to make light. I'm not trying to make light of the situation because it's very serious. But I laugh because I be thinking like, girl, you silly, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was the most amount of guys that you have been with in a night?
One night, probably about 20.
How does that even, like, how does 20 guys even get together, right? Like, I'm trying to think, like, was this a party? Was it, or just word had gotten out about you so much that now it was like a main attraction almost?
Yeah, that, like Disney World or something, like crazy, yeah.
Everyone has to see this.
Right. So the crazy thing about all of this is that I was in the abstinence program. And at the abstinence program, that program, they would hold class right there at the same park where I would have sex with the guys inside the car. So whenever they would see me walking over to the program, they'll stop me and be like, "Hey, you coming back tonight?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm coming back." Sometimes they would actually go by. This is at Child's Park Recreation Center. They would come by the window because they could see me through the glass window. They'll tap on that to get my attention and be like, because sometimes they wouldn't have sex with me in the bathroom. So I would leave my abstinence program class and go have sex with them in the bathroom. I lived a double life. My parents, they had me in abstinence programs. They had me in True Love Waits,
The church.
the church. I played basketball, I did all of that.
Yeah. You told me about a time you walked into a hotel and it's just 10 men standing there
Yeah.
with camcorders.
Yeah.
And
That
talk to me about
that night was crazy because that was the night we got chased by the police. I made a call because the guy that I had called, I had met him just walking the streets, and he lived way across town. So he didn't interact with the guys in our neighborhood because they all were big time drug dealers, but they didn't interact with each other, But anyway, I called him up, nicknamed Peanut. And I was like, what's up? What y'all doing or whatever? He was like, whatever you want to do. I'm like, okay. So he asked me, could he come pick me up? I said, yeah. So this was probably about 2:00 in the morning. Snuck out the house per usual. He had his friend or homeboy or whatever was driving to come pick us up because Peanut didn't drive. He had people drive him. So dude who was driving the car, his name was Popcorn, or nicknamed Popcorn. When they pulled up, Peanut got out of the car and then he pushed the seat up because they was also driving like one of them like classic cars or whatever. Pushed the seat up, and I remember seeing another girl in the car. She looked like she was about my age. And then Peanut, he ended up getting in the back seat and he sat in between us. And he told me, he was like, listen, we finna go pick up Tulu, one of the other homeboys. So I'm like, cool, As we're driving, I want to say we got like maybe 10 minutes from my house, and all of a sudden I see the lights flashing, the police lights, and them telling the guy who was driving, like, get out the car or whatever. But he didn't. He just put his foot on the gas and just kept going. Like, we hitting high speed, very, very high speeds. We going in and out of like alleys and back ways and all that stuff, trying to like shake the police. We eventually shake the police. We went and picked up his homeboy Tulu. And we went to this place like an Efficiency. Efficiency is more so like a motel that they've converted into an apartment. As I'm getting out, Popcorn tells Peanut that he's gonna go drop that other young lady off. And that's when, I was telling you how our eyes met and different things like that. I wrote a letter to her in my book, so I want to say that. So anyway, Popcorn tell Peanut I'm finna go drop her off. And then when I go into the Efficiency, there's about 10 guys, some of them are naked. They're waiting for me to come in and have sex with them. This particular night, they didn't have like the old school camcorder, nothing like fancy like this, but more so like the Luke, camera, whatever. So I had sex with those guys. They told me to get into certain positions so they could record me in different ways. But I think the craziest thing about that night was, as I was leaving, there was a cork board next to the door that had like runaway girls on there. So I feel like there's like people who just kind of pray or look for runaway girls to have sex with. But after I had sex with him that night, Popcorn had came back and he took me home.
guys are standing there naked. Like this is borderline
Some of them were.
homosexual activity, right?
That shit crazy. Boy, that ain't no motherfucking homosexual activity. That's called a gangbang, bitch. They probably sold that shit. They probably made all type of money out that shit. Like, the nigga Peanut probably pimped that out, you feel me? And those people probably paid him like, hey, she was getting pimped out. She didn't even know it. That shit crazy. The niggas probably sold the fucking DVD. Like,
Just standing there, naked with a bunch of guys.
They would get naked in front of each other all the time. Even when we were outside, they would get naked.
Well,
they just gangbanging, my boy.
It's crazy. But yeah.
these guys would be preying on women that were kidnapped.
Yeah. She was going though. She wanted it though.
Most interesting about
That's
everything
a crazy thing.
is how
like 1,000 niggas,
these
2,000
drug dealers,
niggas.
most dangerous guys in the neighborhood, sort of looking after you too, right? Like picking you
Yeah.
up, dropping you off,
Mm-hmm.
you know, making sure that you were good,
Yeah.
right? Not offering you
Yeah.
drugs, not offering you liquor.
Pimping that
And
bitch.
well, I did have liquor one time.
Okay, out of all these times, one time you get offered liquor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what
'Cause
is
they came to
fearful
get
is
the
that they were
coochie, my nigga.
conscious
They was
that
pimping
this was
her
a
bitch
kid,
and she just
that this was a
fucking.
child,
Like, she ain't
and they were
know no
also
better.
conscious of
She a
making
child.
sure you were
That
okay.
shit crazy.
Right.
And she like
Sort of
she said,
speak
she
to that
like niggas.
dynamic. Like these guys were almost
dick
like
feel good.
your homies, in a weird way. That's how you speak about them anyway. That's what I'm.
I mean, they were cool. They were cool. It was inappropriate, but I didn't see it as that. I just seen it like these my sex buddies, my cut buddies. You know, that was it. But they make sure I got home, and they would look out for me. I mean, some of them, but then I feel like maybe one of the guys might have started getting paid because I moved from the backseat of the Cutlass to the garage bathroom. And so then guys, they would just stand there, wait their turn to come in one by one, sometimes two by two.
Did you ever get paid?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I told you.
No financial gain.
No,
She ain't know what she
You
was
told me you
doing.
were just having fun.
I was just having fun.
Yeah. She ain't know no
The
better.
holiday
I don't
season
really
is
blame
here,
them. Like, that's
and I
why
know you're
people say
searching for that
ignorance is
perfect
bliss.
gift.
Like, I really mean, like, that shit
UncommonGoods.com,
is
they have
very
everything
real.
you
Like,
need.
you can't
Unique,
blame a motherfucker for some shit they don't
handcrafted,
fucking know.
homemade
Like,
items that are
that's
searched
why
from
people
thousands
gotta
and thousands of
learn how
different
to
people. They really
not
take
live
their
through
time when they're
perception,
looking
you
for
feel
these
me?
gifts. If you want to be special this holiday
No, I mean,
season,
not-
if you
don't
want to
live
choose
through
something that you
perspective,
haven't
but perception.
chosen
It's like
before,
it's how you
you're not going to get the
perceive
same
things.
pair of
So you have to
socks
be
that you
able
always
to
get, go to
comprehend things to
uncommonGoods.com
achieve it. There's like, you
backslash
feel me?
trapping for that
Fuck
15% off.
perspective, have
uncommonGoods.com/trapping for that 15% off. I've bought books. I've bought.
My bad, chat. Let me drop that diamond there again. Fuck perspective, have perception. True wisdom comes from understanding and comprehending. Feel me? So that's the most important thing you can work on. Have an open mind, open heart. Always be able to learn, dissect this shit. But she was
Tents.
ignorant. She
I
didn't
bought
know.
little things that you wouldn't commonly get everywhere else. With every purchase, they donate $1 to a nonprofit of your choice. They have donated over $3 million to date. Donate for a good cause. Donate to your everyday mom and pop person that is sitting home hustling, trying to get their trap off, right? This is the only way to go. uncommonGoods.com. Support, support, support. uncommonGoods.com/trapping for that 15% off, and make sure you tell them that I sent you. Let's get it. Many women say their fantasy is to be with two guys, but there's a stigma that's attached to it, right? For most men, of course, their fantasy is to be with two women, three women. You know, for a man to walk the streets and be able to sleep with whatever girl he wants is like a dream come true. For a woman to walk the streets and to sleep with any man she wants, it's considered a nightmare, right? And if we remove the age, which is the biggest part,
Yeah.
if we remove the age, we can look at this situation and say men aren't that different from women in the sense that if we could just walk outside and have sex with whoever we wanted to, we would do it.
Okay.
Right? Or am I tripping? Right? Because
Yeah.
I guess so many women have to have a mask when it comes to
That shit only taboo to square motherfuckers, man. Like, that's the thing, man. People always try to tell everybody how to live. Life proprietary to whoever living in it and shit. If a bitch wanna go and fuck off, let her fuck off. If a nigga wanna go fuck off, it is what it is. That's how they choose to live that life. Like, ain't shit taboo about it. Ignorant motherfuckers that don't understand reality gonna think it's taboo. Like, if a motherfucker wanna go out there and do that, it is what it is. It's part of life. It's like, it's people out there that actually do that shit. Like, people do it for a living, so it's like I don't understand like why he acting like so mind blown and shit too. Especially in her situation, like she was fucking 14 and literally ain't know no better. She had no tools, she had no coping mechanisms, she had no experience with many of the situations she was in. Feel me? She just she was addicted to sex. Like he just acting so fucking baffled.
sex when it comes to, being out, so they're not seen as promiscuous and, all these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like at some point you were, like you were saying, you were just doing what you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it was offered, the idea was offered to me or told to me, and it was by a woman, not a woman. She was actually not too much older than me because we went to school together, went to high school. And she suggested that I become a cleanup woman. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what a cleanup woman was. But I learned later on, what a cleanup woman was.
What was it?
Basically, if a guy's in a relationship, whether he's married or have a girlfriend, and if she's not having sex with him, you come in and you clean up. You have sex with him and get paid for that.
Okay.
It's an old school song. It's called The Cleanup Woman.
I think I know that song.
Yeah.
Did any guy ever come to you and be like, psst, psst, you shouldn't be doing this? Like,
Yes.
I know this is crazy. Mm-hmm. It seemed like someone would come up to you with a conscience and just be like, stop.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, there were a couple guys who did that, but I mean, they were still having sex with me. They were still waiting their turn, One guy in particular, he was very sweet, very sweet. And he would tell me, he was like, these guys are way older than you. He was 18 at the time. Mm-hmm. We went to the same high school. But he was telling me, like, they don't really want to be with you for real. They just want to have sex with you. But you standing here, and we in this backyard. What's the thing that's in the back when people have air conditions? The AC unit or whatever.
Mm-hmm. HVAC.
Or whatever it's called. Yeah. So you watching your homeboy get naked and we having sex, and then I have sex with you afterwards. But he'll be like, you shouldn't be out here. And then at school, I had boys who would write me letters and, just try to encourage me to not be out there.
And nothing worked?
At that time, no.
You told me that there were points where they would come to your door and knock on the window.
You talking about to my house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, long story short, I went out, walking the streets, wanted to have sex, and I was almost raped by this homeless guy. We stand in the middle of the street, like, dude was reeking of alcohol, and I remember him being homeless because he would always be asking for money at the corner store, I think like snacks or wherever it was. And dude, he's like pulling his penis out, pulling on my skirt, and we're in the middle of the street while this is happening. I started screaming. There's cars driving past, and this one particular car got so close to us where I was tapping on the windshield, and I'm like, help me, please, and dude just shoo me off. Eventually, somebody was like, hey, man, leave that girl alone. So he let me go, and he kept saying, I didn't hurt you. I didn't hurt you. I said, oh, I'm just like, just get off of me, I'm crying, hysterical, but because I didn't have my fix that night, what I did was I picked up like a brick or like this big rock, and I was just saying, like, if he come back at me, I'll just bust his head open. But he eventually let me go, and he let me alone. And once he did that, there was a car pull up. One of the guys in the car, on the passenger side, we used to play basketball together. I used to do like AAU basketball, so we practiced with the boys and stuff at the park. And he was just like, what's up, and I was like, okay, and went and had sex with them. But after that, I said, you know what, I'm not going out here no more because that was very scary.
Yeah.
So.
And these spots, it's almost like guys would be driving around at a certain time waiting for you to come outside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they'd be waiting.
Well, you mentioned the knocking. So after about like a week and a half or so, after I decided I wasn't going to walk the streets no more, I'm laying in my bed. And then this is around the time between 11 and 12 that I usually go out. And I hear a knock at my window. And it scared me because I'm like, who knocked on my window? So I look out the window and I see the group of the original guys that I had first started having sex with. And, and this particular night, it had to be like maybe 10 or 12 guys standing out just kind of waiting. And when I opened the blind to see, dude was like, open the window. He's telling me to open the window. And at this point, I had never snuck boys into my parents' house. Like I never thought about doing that. Plus, I didn't want to get in trouble. So I ended up closing the blinds back and got into bed and pretending like I was asleep. But he kept knocking. And I'm like, well, I don't want my parent, like my mom to hear, my sister to hear somebody knocking at the window. So I had went back to the window. I opened the window a little bit, and he was asking me, can he come in? I told him no initially, but then he kept asking me. And he kept knocking, like tapping on the window. Even though I didn't pull it up, it's like he's trying to make noise. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know if it's like that here, but I know in Chicago they have where you can just easily lift the screen. But in Florida, you gotta really work it out, and that's what he did. He was able to work the screen, take the screen out, and then come in through the window. And then I started having sex with those guys.
Damn, bitch, you like all of them in the house?
So much.
It's a crazy story.
Crazy.
You said you didn't get your fix that night after almost being raped. So you had to keep going. Was there like a limit that you had to have, like a quota that you had to have? Was it like you had to be with at least one guy or 5 guys before you say, okay, let me head back home?
No, it wasn't really like a quota. I just want to have sex.
So it could be one guy, you'd be fine.
Yeah, it could have been one guy.
In school, I'm assuming you're getting this reputation now, the girls that is sleeping around.
Yeah.
Sleeping with girls' boyfriends, guys that girls want to be with. I could assume that they would start hating you. Did that happen?
I knew they weren't my friends, but they always wanted to know what was going on. And I love to brag about it, you know, and I'll be like, y'all ain't have sex yet? Y'all ain't, you know, just, it was crazy. It was crazy.
You told me your mom sees you in the car, in the act, as these guys are taking turns, pulls you out the car. What happened?
Well, with this situation, my parents had already, they found out about me walking the streets and sleeping with multiple guys. They found out about the drug dealers coming in and out of their house and stuff like that. So this was after a police report had already been filed against those guys. And then this was probably about a month or two afterwards. The guys, because they would come to my school, they would look for me at my school. I mean, the boys that I was having sex with or wanted to have sex with me at school, they would come to my locker. But the older men would drive by, the grown men would drive by.
And there were police reports.
Yeah, it was already reported, and those guys in particular were already questioned by the police. You know, so it's like it was just, you know, they see me walking. I really wasn't supposed to be walking home because my parents, they pick me up and take me to school. But this particular day, I was supposed to be in after-school suspension. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna buck the system and I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna walk home. Started walking with one of my so-called friends at the time. And what she told me was that it bothered me later on, but I tried to pretend like it didn't bother me at that point. But what she said to me, she said, don't be walking with me. I don't want other people to think that we hoes too. So, you know, and then that was right after she said that, the guys had stopped their car and was like, you know, what's up, you know? So I get in the car, we go pull over to the place where we were having sex. By this time, the guy whose car it was, that the Cutlass Supreme, it was like tan and brown, but he had got it painted by this time. I don't know if he was just trying to disguise himself from the police, but we went to the same spot. I had sex with the first 2 guys. I was getting ready to have sex with a third guy, and then I start hearing all this commotion. Dark tinted windows, so my mama couldn't see me. Someone had called her, and I found out later on it was a classmate, because I think by this time my parents were trying to do everything they could do to help their daughter. So my mom made sure certain people in the neighborhood had her phone number. So one of my classmates called her and was telling her that I was in a car with those guys. So her and my stepdad pulled up. My mom jumped out. She had a golf club and she was swinging it. The guy who owned the car, he was standing like just kind of resting against the the trunk. And my mom was saying like where's my daughter? He was like, I don't know where your daughter at, man. And I'm like sitting back there like I'm panicking, my heart's racing because I'm like I'm about to get in trouble. So And I don't know, maybe my mom came at the right time, because who knows what this guy had that I was getting ready to have sex with. But anyway, I just think about God's grace in the middle of all of this. But she's swinging, and she's like, listen, if you don't tell me where my daughter at, I'm gonna bust you up, I'm gonna bust these lights out, I'm gonna do all that. My stepdad's trying to hold her back. Eventually, he just telling me I need to get out this car. So he opened the door, I get out the back seat, get into my mom's car, and my mom, she was just broken, because she quit her job and everything just to try to provide me with the help that I needed. And she's thinking that I'm in after school suspension, but she get that phone call, so immediately she go looking for me. Yeah.
I can't imagine what your mother had to endure, you know, thinking as a parent to see their child heading down this path and care, right? She cared.
Oh yeah.
Your teachers, you was a straight A student.